The most interesting lie. Am I coming?
Yeah.
The most interesting lie a significant other has ever told you. Me, myself, was a little shy, like gun shy when I started dating. So I was like, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to ask and what to ask and what to say. But then I knew that eventually you have to get to the hard questions.
Yeah.
So we sit down for dinner this one time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, do you have any kids? I'd like to know.
Yeah.
Like suddenly I just started off with like really hard questions.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, I've got a boy and I've just gotten a girl. I'm like, oh, how old is the baby girl? He's like, she's about 7 months. So I'm like, okay. So you're from something serious just recently. He's like, yes. I actually was engaged to someone and then we broke it off. But we still live together.
Oh dear.
Red flag.
Oh dear.
Red flag. Hello, how are you? I hope you're having a good week. Welcome to the Ages and Stages podcast. We are here today with the one and only Beldina, of course, Beldina Kasema on all socials. And I have the one and only, the lovely
D.
Just D.
D.
We say
That's the
things
energy I have today.
D says.
D. Things D says on the socials.
And we've had quite a week. Quite a week, let me tell you. And here's my question, D. How have you been? How are you feeling?
Man.
Mental check.
I'm feeling extremely drained. Like I'm feeling extremely drained today, guys. So you'll have to just excuse me.
Oh no.
Yeah, I just
What's
feel
happening?
drained. Just so many things have happened in a short space of time with family, friends, that kind of thing. And then today, an agent of Satan himself came to try me. So do you know one of those days where one of those moments where you're just like, I need it to stop. I need it to all stop.
I need a break for now.
I need a break. And then on top of that, I've been traveling a lot for work. You know this. We just wrapped up. Actually, the last time I would have seen you, which is the last time we were on stories, was when we did a school fair in Nakuru.
Yes, Greenstead. Shout out to Greenstead.
Yeah, we went to Greenstead's International Academy, spoke to brilliant students. So that's the last time we saw each other, and then I've been trying to recover before another leg of traveling. And you've been traveling, yeah?
Yes, I'm just from Uganda.
Yeah.
Came back, I think, a day or two back, and I love Uganda. They call me Nyabo out there.
What does Nyabo mean?
Baby girl. I think it's baby girl, just in case. Don't correct
Please
me too hard. Translate.
Yeah.
They're like, Olotia Nyabo. I'm like, ish, that sounds interesting.
Yeah.
A little dirty,
Yeah.
because you know my brain.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Address the gutter.
But yeah, I've had a good time. I'm also feeling a little down, but as always, only because of the travel. The back-to-back travel can be a little intense, but then we come back and then you recover and then you go back out again.
You had so much energy today. I could have never known.
I'm always energetic.
They
You
came
guys.
here full of like energy and Beldina like that.
Jump up and down. And we've been seeing the comments y'all have been leaving on our YouTube. First of all, let's start from here. Who calls me Valdina?
Yeah,
Sounds like medicine, you guys.
I know.
Come on.
We were saying it sounds like actual antibiotics.
Or
It's
vaginal
Beldina,
medicine.
guys. Beldina. But this one made me chuckle. There was someone who said
What did it say?
that my buttons were fighting for dear life in the last episode.
Which episode? Y'all are violent.
And I
But you
literally
can
told
see.
Beldina, I could probably be friends with this person. I don't know.
It's okay.
It depends.
You probably have the same problems as
Yeah.
well, eh? Maybe both yours are fighting and everything.
Yeah.
But we like such problems.
Yeah.
too.
I mean,
such problems are good problems to have, you guy.
well, apart
Very
from the neck
nice.
pain and all of that. But yeah, I mean, look.
It's okay.
But
We carry. God, when he landed there, he said, "Chukua na ya mama yako." That's how we're feeling. But anyway, today, this is the Ages and Stages podcast. This is the kind of podcast where we talk about what the school of life has taught us and what formal education is teaching us and finding the intersection in between and how it works really, really well.
And that's because, you might be wondering why education. It's because we work in the international education sector. And so there's that whole formal, education leading people towards future education decisions in tertiary education institutions. But also we've come on the other side where we've completed, I think, tertiary, unless you're looking to do a master's or PhD. I've completed tertiary education again, unless I don't even know, I'm struck by some sort of lightning.
My mother still thinks I'll end up like a doctor. Dr. Mwasia.
Yeah.
Kasema.
So you never know. But yeah, like we're on the other side. And so we've learned a few things from the School of Life. We've learned a few things from formal education. And so it's just, I guess, having conversations about, well, we do have a formal education, but what does life actually teach us? What's life teaching us today?
I'm telling you.
Tell me what's life teaching us today.
Today, let me tell you. There's this conversation. Apart from the comments we've been getting online, actually, on our YouTube channel, you can check it out. Some of the things we've heard people asking, people are always sending us suggestions. And one of the major ones we picked up is a funny one. I thought we'd take a lighter one. The most interesting lie. Am I coming?
Yeah.
The most interesting lie a significant other has ever told you.
Wow. This, I need to laugh.
Please. So let me tell you how this came about.
Yeah.
I'm seated with this girl, names unmentioned, and we're talking about this thing, and I was mentioning the way it's a comment that someone asked us to talk about. And then she mentions the fact that the most interesting lie she ever got was a dude who lied that he was an orphan.
Oh?
Yeah.
And then he killed his parents.
And then they kept resurrecting in the in the relationship.
Oh my God.
Suddenly, the first time she realized that something was wrong, he gets a call from his dad.
Yeah.
And then he says that it's not his dad, it's a friend of his dad's that is probably calling.
Oh.
And eventually admits...
Who saved us dad?
Yes. And then eventually admits that he was actually not... his parents are actually alive, but his dad has a critical disease that is taking them to India.
Wow. How do you recover from that?
I'm like, ish.
How do you recover from that?
Ish. Like you get used to like the lies, what I call white lies, because the lies that happen anyway. Like someone asks you, are you home? You're like, I'm not home, because you really just want to stay home and watch TV and you're a little tired. Or you don't want to sound like you didn't have any plans. So when he asks, are you home? You're like, oh, I'm actually going to see my girlfriends. We have plans today. I get
that kind of life.
I get it. I'm not saying it's the best one, but I get it. I get the little, what I'd call white lies, but they're lies too, eh? What I don't get is like significant life lies.
You know, this is the thing I keep wondering, because you hear these horror stories all the time in Nairobi. And I don't know if it's because I spent a chunk of my life elsewhere that I'm just like, how is this normal? How is it normal? How is the level of malice in this country normal?
And I don't think... Do you think these people intend to just... Does someone
like
just
the
intend
dating
to say
scene,
something?
I haven't really dated... Like, I haven't really dated in Nairobi, honestly. So I can't say... Do you know, I don't have like a... Oh, yeah, even me, I experienced this. And, you know what I mean? But the things I hear, I'm just like, it can't be real life. It can't be real life.
Stories you hear.
How do you fake you're an orphan?
Yeah. How does that story come about? Me, I'm like, yo... Hey.
So, yo.
And when your parents resurrect, what do you do with them? Or what happens when you have to do a rorasho and then your father and mother appear?
Family meetings must be stressful for him.
I am telling you. And I'm thinking, what kind of, like, maybe you think that this is not going to be long term, but then it ends up being long term. What do you think? Especially if you find your soulmate and you started off everything with like a mad lie. How does that happen?
You see, I don't know, because now it's case by case basis.
We'll evaluate
because you know, in a situation like that, say for instance, I'm dating someone and then he tells me he's an orphan for whatever reason. Maybe he's trying to hide me from his parents, or maybe he's trying to hide some other truth. First of all, I'm like, to say that you're an orphan, you've gone so far to me, so it means there's something that you really don't want known. And if it's me, that makes me wonder why
are we doing this?
Why are you going to such lengths to make sure I'm secret? Like, even if we're not official,
like, why does it have to be?
Yeah,
like, you could have said anything else. Anything
it doesn't.
else.
Yeah,
anything else.
That's the thing that baffles me.
Yes.
Is I'm just like, Kwani, see, if you want an open relationship, you want options, so you just present that in the first
From the beginning.
encounter.
Let me decide.
That's the thing I don't get about it. Like, what about you? Like, have you been lied to proper
Maybe not.
in your dating life? Yeah.
Not particularly me, because me, I'm CSI. Don't be trying me. I will find you.
FBI you.
Nakwambia, and I've got girlfriends who will discover your mother's last name and maiden name. You just don't be trying me. But I have a friend of mine when I was a bit younger who, and we're still at the state where you'd still go out for dates. So she used to date this guy, and my friend is the kind of person who is still a virgin up to now, which is interesting and exciting for her. But then at that point, she used to like to go for dates, and she did be invited to sleep over.
She's a virgin. Is she her age?
No.
Oh, she's younger.
Yes. Okay. A little younger, just slightly younger.
I mean, wow.
But still has held on to it for almost 28 years.
I mean, in a world full of temptation, it's like, it's probably a really
interesting thing.
Yeah, interesting thing to navigate.
Yeah. So anyway, every time she'd go for dates when we're much older, like past 25 now, most dates would end up with, oh, come over, I cook for you. So for most of those days, she used to go with me.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, Baldina, today we have a sleepover. And true to form, which was as two of us.
Yeah.
The guys
on the date, there's two of you.
Yes.
So the guy
must have been so pissed.
Who's he talking to during the date?
So he's talking to the girl.
And ignoring you?
No, during the day. No, he has to entertain both of us. I hadn't gotten that. He has to entertain both of us.
Allah.
But then,
otherwise, you look like a bodyguard.
He used to, but then now, the Kizungu Mkuti used to come in when it's sleeping time, because there was a second room. So she'd go, they'd make out a bit and do whatever they were doing, and then she'd come to the room because she's trying to fight temptation by having me there, ideally. Now, here's the thing. At the beginning, we used to be able to just chill in the house and everything.
Yeah.
Suddenly, a few months in the morning at about 6 a.m. we'll be woken up because he has golf and we have to go.
6 a.m.
6 a.m.
Okay. Golf people, please. Is this a normal time?
I don't know.
You don't get up for work at 6 a.m., but you get up for golf.
Yes.
That's a normal thing.
We discovered later on, he used to have a girlfriend who was a doctor. So she'd have the night shift on Saturday night. And then on Sunday night, before she comes to the house, we have to leave. Yeah.
Night shift. So I'm presuming she worked in the medical field, nursing or something. Night.
And we always used to leave. And let me tell you,
it's like whatever, Superman, Clark Kent. During the day, you're a completely different man. At night, you're another completely different. Like truly speaking,
different people.
You're two different people.
When's the earliest you've left a place, like someone's house, if there was a sleepover?
If it was a sleepover, when I wake up. When I wake up and after you've maybe eaten or drunk tea or something. There's never been like an alarm, ring.
It's time to go.
You have to go.
No, I've had cases now where people are lying that that's their house. So you sleep over and in the morning, because you have to check out,
Airbnb.
and then they'll be charged an extra amount. You
know
gotta
what?
go.
You know what? May I need AI to detect for me because first of all, I can't fathom some things happening. So when they do happen, I'm just like, no, what planet am I on? I need AI to come and tell me, yo,
this
turn
is what
right,
happened.
turn left, U-turn, because what the heck?
I'm telling you.
What the actual heck?
People be pulling stunts out here, let me tell you. Stunts. Questions, comments.
Then what do you do after that? Do you think like relationships like that, there's,
I think,
what do you call it? Like, how do you repair after that? Do you know? Like, having lived in Kenya longer than I have, or having experienced this culture.
At the beginning, when people are flaunting, obviously people tend to present their best foot, and the best foot sometimes is not what they are all through the relationship. So usually I think that's where they say like it becomes a little harder when you've done 3 months of a relationship, and then when you've done 6 months of a relationship, things begin to change completely, because now you start to see the true colors of someone and everything. So I think the idea is to ask yourself at the end of the day, can you live with something? Or can you not live with something? Like, I've known friends who borrow cars so they can take a girl out for a date. And then eventually you realize this guy, he doesn't have a car. He borrowed his friend's car. Yeah.
Yeah. But even that, you see, like, I find there's no accountability system here, like in terms of even finding out, say for instance, is someone married to multiple women? Is someone lying about a property?
One.
You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, the amount of humans. So let me tell you the one that happened to me.
Yeah.
So I think I'm about 23.
Yeah.
Doing my second degree, really excited about it.
Yeah.
And everything. And then I meet this guy. I used to know this guy when I was much, much younger. And I have a thing about people who sing, like, especially if they sing really well. So he used to sing really well in church. So we were much, much younger. So when I'm older, I'm out out with my friends, and then we meet the guy, and he offers to drop all of us home.
was there signing up for Sunday school.
Yes.
After Sunday school.
And I was too young to know what a crush was.
Yeah.
So I wasn't sure what I was feeling.
Yeah, but you're
so in my
drawn
head, I'm
to
like,
the person. You're drawn to,
I want to just say hi.
Yeah, you want to be
and
around
sit
them.
around
Yeah.
and I'm not quite sure what's happening. So anyway, and then he's older, and there's something very attractive about him being older.
Yeah.
So anyway, I finally meet him when I'm grown now, and I have tricks up my sleeve. Yeah. And we're 4 girls living in completely different places, drops all of us home, and finally drops me home.
Yeah.
So me in my head, I'm like, oh, okay, he is nice. So calls me up for a date. We go for 1, 2, 3 dates. On the 4th date, then the hard conversations begin. I don't know when you start your hard conversations. Me myself, I was a little shy, like gun shy when I started dating. So I was like, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to ask and what to ask and what to say. But then I knew that eventually you have to get to the hard questions.
Yeah.
So we sit down for dinner this one time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, do you have any kids? I like to know.
Yeah.
Like suddenly I just started off with like really hard questions.
Yeah.
And he said, yes, I've got a boy and I've just gotten a girl. I'm like, oh, how old is the baby girl? He's like, she's about 7 months. So I'm like, okay. So you're from something serious just recently. He's like, yes. I actually was engaged to someone, and then we broke it off. But we still live together.
Oh dear.
Red flag.
Oh dear.
Red flag. Anyway.
Yeah.
So actually we still live together. So
Yeah.
I'm like, you still live together where?
Yeah.
In your house? He's like, yeah. But we live in separate bedrooms. We're just separated. I just need to see my kids every day. So I'm like, how big is the bed? How big is the house? How big is the room?
Is there East Wing, West Wing?
How big is the room? How big is the... Kwani inatoshanaje? Kwani it's a hacienda?
Yeah.
Find out.
Not a hacienda.
Actually, because I'm hearing this. Those episodes.
Mujer de
La
mi
Mujer. I'm hearing. I'm saying hearing the songs. Hacienda. Is it a hacienda-ish? Yeah. So anyway, come to discover that apparently. He lives, they have 3 bedrooms. So the kids live in 1 bedroom. He lives in 1 bedroom and his wife lives in
another bedroom.
Okay, his not wife lives in the other bedroom. So I'm like, so sazle kuna baridi kwa nyumba. Which bedroom do you end up in? Because now...
Not even that. Like, they're still under one roof. Like, let me tell you, I think this is even where people get caught up in I guess, side chick situations. Is because this person might be out there hunting and telling you he's separated, fully divorced, all these things. But if he's living with the mother of his children,
There's nothing there.
Like, there's no way you're starting afresh anything when you're under the same household as someone you're saying you're separated from.
And let me tell you,
That's fiction.
the one thing we've learned about men, like so far, at least for me, is that when a man wants, he really wants. He'll go out of his way
100%.
to make sure things are working and they're working really well. So what is the situation that you're still in?
Yeah.
They will get themselves out of the situation. They'll sort that out.
Yeah.
They'll fix it. They'll be okay.
So now you are thinking,
So me,
he's fully separated.
So no, me,
Yeah.
and let me tell you, chuck it to age, because you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's saying the truth. I'm like, we even agreed that I'm going to go see the living situation. God. So I talk to my sisters. Thank God. Shout out for sisters.
Yeah.
I talk to my sister and I come out plain and clean. And then I'm like, this is what he said. Remember I had a crush on him. Remember with the way we used. And then my sister's like, that guy has a wife. He might have not put a ring on it, but he has a wife. You lenga those stories. If you go to that house and she kills you, she'll say you were in her property. In Kenya, if you've lived with someone more than 6 months, they're married. What's going on? And she legit
By that
sets my
standard,
brain.
I think there are men here with 10 wives. There are men in this country. By that standard,
We are not going to
We're
go into that. Way.
Yeah.
Polygamy, polyamory, and
but
everything.
what was I thinking? I was
And you know, it's actually legal as you think about your point. It's legal. Polygamy
Yeah.
is actually
Yeah, it's
legal,
legal
in
in
Kenya.
Kenya.
Yeah, but then that's the thing about it. For me, it's I was so willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that I was willing to go to the house to see their living situation.
it would have been like that other one. She's on night shift, so you come during the day,
And then
you see, like, you feel like
the
things are in
rooms are
order.
different.
Kumbe. Yeah, it's, I don't know. How did you even get? How did that end up panning
the minute
out?
my sister was like, "You're going nowhere."
Okay.
That story has ended. What if she
I
burns
remember
you?
the point that I wanted
Yes.
to make. As women, we need a community of women
I agree.
that we lean on.
I agree.
That are our age, younger, and older. Like, not just a little bit older, I mean way older.
Dear, I want you to say that one more time.
Because
I need you to
I
say that one
swear,
more time.
We need each other.
We need a
each other.
community.
Women
who
need
are
each other.
older,
younger,
and on the
peers.
same age.
Yeah, because it helps you to be able to know you're not the only one going through some bull. You know what I mean? And then the older ones can tell you,
Come
girl,
on, that's
we've been
nonsense.
there. We've been there. Let's show you the way of how to navigate this, because there's a massive gap between our mother's generation and us. And because for them, I call them the survival generation. They probably didn't even have time to think about their mental health because they were busy surviving. They were busy surviving. Those ones who made it out of shags to come into the cities were focused on one thing and one thing alone. I must survive. I must do better than where I've come from. And then they did, and continue to build and build and build and build. Their lives sort of, were nonstop. And because they didn't have the same upbringing we've had, they had it a bit tougher, maybe not having shoes at some point. Do you know what I mean? Walking kilometers to school. Their struggles were different. So relationship-wise, we always look at it like it's a different generation.
Yes, it is.
But let me tell you something. A man is a man is a man.
It's
A
like
woman
they all
is a
went,
woman
let
is a
me tell you,
woman.
we all went to the same school, trained by the same mother.
A man is a man
ate
is a
the
man.
same food.
A
It's
woman
like
is a woman is a woman.
The thinking usually tends to grow. Yes.
Yeah, despite the generational differences in terms of what we've gone through, they have advice on surviving some of the things that our generation doesn't know how to survive.
Wisdom.
Yeah.
They've got wisdom.
They've got wisdom.
I tell you something my mom used to tell me. She used to tell me, Beldina, a man doesn't like a woman without an agenda. And I used to wonder, Mom, where are you coming from with this? She drummed it into me. And then I realized later when I'm dating that if all your life is about the man that you're dating or the man that you're married to, then it becomes a problem.
Meaning,
That
like,
you need your
something-
own life.
Oh, yeah.
Apart
Yeah.
from being even when you're part of
Yeah.
a relationship and even when you're part of a marriage, you need your own life. You need your own life and your life. So she used to say it, and I never understood it.
Yeah.
But over the ages now,
you've
and this
started
is
to
where the
understand.
wisdom is
Yeah,
showing now.
yeah.
That the things she used to
The
say.
different ages?
Yes.
Different
stages. Yes. And she has advice. Her advice comes across a bit hard.
Yeah.
She has no qualms.
Yeah.
Zero qualms. She'll tell you, that one doesn't work. So her advice can be a little hard in the way she comes across and everything. But sometimes she makes real sense.
Yeah.
Even when I think about it later, I'm like, oof, that was harsh.
Yeah.
But maybe she had a point
Yeah.
with the way she approaches and the way she says things.
Yeah.
So that's always the approach in it.
Yeah.
That being able, and then being honest. Whatever you're facing, just having people you can just say, listen, this
Yeah.
is what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Imagine liwe liwalo. If I die, I die.
Yeah, you need a witness to your pain.
I know.
You need a witness to your pain, because if you have no witness to your pain, that's how you end up in deep mental health issues. Yeah.
You need people who'll be able to say that doesn't work.
Yeah,
that
or
works.
even just tell you maybe this one you've overreacted kidogo, but to give you the space to purge those emotions. Yeah, you need to purge them, because it's not always that you feel emotional that somebody else has inflicted it, but because the story you tell yourself in your head is a survival story from your trauma, so you have to have somebody else, a third party, check you, just so they can either validate you or advocate for you or remind you something. Do you know what I mean? Like someone who will get you out of that state and be like, okay, have you looked at it this way? Because they're a third party, they can see it outside of you, so they're less emotional.
That's true.
So
because our
they
reference
help
point
you.
comes from what we've learned, what we've picked up, and perhaps the trauma that lies in the background as well.
Yeah.
And I like that because sometimes it's not only about you're the one who's right, because sometimes even the community is able to tell you, guy, you did wrong. You did very wrong.
Or
it's time to check yourself.
Exactly.
It's time to change. It's time to pick up something new. It's time to adjust.
And it's very important to have people who can give you the real in your life. You can't have yes men.
True.
Yeah.
I don't do well with yes men.
you
I
can't
like
have yes
people who
men.
just say, listen, this won't work.
Yeah.
This will work, and this is why it will work completely.
Yeah.
So we've had interesting things. I want to know from the crowd and the team and the people listening to us, what are these interesting lies you've received from a significant other? And what happens when you've caught someone in a lie? Have you ever caught a significant other in a lie?
Yes, of course.
And what was your reaction? How do you deal with such a situation? You start crying? Of course, it's important. You start screaming?
No, of course, it's okay, depending on the degree of the lie. But yeah, I mean, obviously the worst one that I've experienced is infidelity. And that, of course, that hurt badly, because...
So how do you deal with such a situation? So I come and tell you, I cheated on you. Or you walk into a house and I'm there
how
doing...
I discover. Oh, listen, if I walk into... I don't know what I would do in that situation because I haven't been in that situation. Mine was like discovering, like seeing things, certain means of evidence. Though, like...
We trust, but
I was
we
extremely
test.
hurt. I was young as well, like, so I'm so idealistic in my thinking of a relationship. Yeah, when you're young, you're so idealistic in relationships, especially for girls, because we have fantasies in our heads. So you think you're gonna get married to this person, most likely, So the hurt from that ending is even worse because of just how much you've pegged on it working.
On the relationship, yes, I remember that.
Yeah, so I was just emotional. I was devastated. That's how I felt. How did you feel when you were?
Now, mine was an infidelity, but I remember the first time I ever felt that kind of hurt. So I'm dating this guy, and a lot of the dating is happening via text. But then be careful of people who just text you but never meet you.
No.
Be careful.
Catfish.
And I'm telling you, right? So I was explaining it to some people just the other day, and so this whole time it's almost Valentine's Day, and he tells me I am going to meet you in town for Valentine's. I don't know town much, but I knew a few cafes, and the one we pick is a Java Mamangina Street. I'm so happy. I arrive in the morning with my mother so early. Still she used to leave the house to go to work. Me and her 8:30 and a date. She doesn't know I'm going for a date, of course, because I'm still in uni. But then I'm like, yes, I have class. I'll just pick up the school bus, blah, blah, blah. But I'm in town. I'm sitting in Java. Mind you, I only have 1,000 shillings. So in my head, I'm like, okay, if worst comes to worst, I'll just drink coffee until he arrives. So the date was meant to begin at 10 o'clock. Remember, I am so excited and eager to meet this person.
You've shown up in advance.
I'm telling you, I showed up at 8, 2 hours before. Don't show up for dates too early.
Like a flight.
So I showed up.
International flights.
International flight that is Beldina's relationship. But anyway, I'm seated and everything, and I'm waiting for this guy. So I'm just sipping on my coffee, sipping. 10 o'clock arrives, he's not there. 11 o'clock, I should have known by the time it got to 11 a.m. that he's not coming. He's not picking up, he's not coming. By the time it was 2 o'clock, his phone is off. I'm still waiting. I'm young, I'm beautiful. I'm thinking it's love.
Sunrise and sunset.
Maybe something happened to him.
Java.
I'm telling you. And I'm just still sipping on the same coffee. Mpaka watu wamenichoka. Na kunywa coffee moja for 4 hours.
Like, madam.
Alafu naitisha maji moto. Alafu I ask for another coffee. Anyway, because you can afford coffee. It's 100 and something. So on 1,000 bob, you can do 10 of them. It gets to 2 o'clock, I'm still there. It gets to 3 o'clock, I'm still there.
Oh, no.
3 o'clock, his phone is off. I'm like, my God, heartbroken. And then it gets to 4 o'clock. And his phone goes on. Since 8 a.m. I'm telling you.
Now you're buzzing because you've drunk all the coffee in the whole of Java.
And then I'm pissed, but then I'm wondering. And then I'm seeing everyone in red with flowers and things and Nini. And then me, I'm there, seated waiting. And everyone can tell I've been duped. Anyway, very, very crazy. But what happens is I call him up. And that's not even the worst part. The waiting is not the worst part. I call him. His phone goes on. I call him up. And dude in the restaurant picks up. looks nothing like the guy I've been chatting with. Yeah.
It was an employee.
Yeah, no, it wasn't an employee. It's a guy who's been seated there with me since 8 a.m. Just didn't know how to tell me that the pictures he was sending me via chat were not him.
Listen.
Yo. So he picks up and then I think he
That's
finally gets
so
courage.
creepy.
I'm telling you, he gets courage and comes and sits next to me. And then he's actually not a bad looking human. He's actually tall.
Literally,
and he could have been.
You were there for business hours. You should have been paid for 9 to 5.
Let me tell you. Now, he shows up with flowers. So I ask him, so you've been seeing my call and text. He's like, I was afraid. I didn't know how to approach you. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what to say. Me, I look at the guy. I'm like, I just looking at him. I'm like, wait. Talk about catfishing. Aki, please. Yo. We don't mind filters, but please, at least have a semblance. Because the guy I was expecting...
At least be the cousin.
The guy I was expecting was this 0.5 Japanese Kenyan guy with big hair. This guy shows up.
But I hear this a lot. I've seen a lot of social media. Like, I've seen a lot of famous guys being like, oh, my picture is being used on a dating site. My picture is being used on a dating site. Please don't.
And this wasn't even a dating site. This was a friend of a friend. We were connected.
Yeah.
So, and then his picture on his profile. His picture that I had been seeing around was a picture of this Japanese half-looking person. So that's what I was expecting. Until he shows up. And he's a tall human, good looking, no problem at all. I wouldn't have had a problem. The only problem is if you start like this in terms of lies, what are you
graduate
expecting?
with a PhD.
Yo. By the time I was done, that hit my heart. Because I was in love. I'd already seen our 0.5 babies.
What did you do?
I just got up. I told him I have to go home. Kwanza,
in my journal.
Thank God it was. I never used to journal as much, even though I realized the significance it has now when you're able to put something down because it allows you to process.
I used to journal a lot, write a lot of poetry, like sad love poetry.
I never used to journal. Mine was OG. Hit hot. Let's go. And that's legit.
Yeah, mine was.
I had to take a ride with my mom in the same car because now it's home time.
Yeah.
So she's like, "How was class?" I'm like, "It was good."
You were in class. You were in the school of life.
I'm telling you, I'm holding my heart
as you go to formal education.
I'm holding my heart.
Do you intersection? What the intersection was at Java.
I'm telling you, I'm holding my heart as we go. And my mom talks. I can't tell her what I'm going through.
Yeah,
I can't tell her what I've been through.
Dude, I really wish. What would it have taken for you to be able to tell your mom? Because I want, if I have a daughter, for her to be like, "Mom," so I can be like, "Let's go bash him." You know? No, okay, I won't bash him.
If the conversation about boys was never just warnings, oh, he'll get you pregnant. Oh, if you do, you go. Or if the conversation was always, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling, and then a lot of what she was going through in terms of what she'd been through.
Okay.
Where if she gave me in terms of stories, I'd have felt safe enough to tell her.
Okay.
But then here's the thing. For me, I was lucky because I had sisters. So I arrive home and then I meet my big sisters.
Yeah.
I'm like, you will not believe what I went through. And I'm carrying flowers over here. But then you guys this. And let me tell you, after that, I was hurt for a bit there. I was really heartbroken. Until every Valentine's Day, until much later on in life, every Valentine's Day before I was 25, before I was 28, every one of them, I used to have 6 or 7 dates on the same day.
Because you're like,
I am not trying to be stood up. And
she has one for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
9 to 10 o'clock breakfast.
Yeah,
take a break, drop me in school. I tell you I have class all day. 11 to 1 o'clock, ice cream. 2 to 3, lunch. By the time it reaches evening, I've done 6. And I have flowers and chocolate from every one of them. And any of my friends who the boyfriends are playing up, I'll give them my flowers.
Like, I have enough.
I'm telling you. But I was so traumatized by that.
I can imagine.
Gosh.
I can imagine.
I'd never even...
God, being stood up. Oh, God.
Not even stood up. Stood up, then catfish.
Actually, not then stood up.
Because he was there the whole time.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yours was textbook catfish.
Yes.
Catfish.
And then I'm wondering, what kind of mentality does someone young have to keep someone in a restaurant the whole day?
No, not even
waiting,
that. Like,
and to
and
have
that's
a
the thing
different picture.
I would tell young girls, and I'm always shouting to my younger cousins. They're probably just so done with me. But what I would say to young girls is, first of all, don't get into anything serious when you're young, in your 20s.
Please.
Don't do it.
Yes.
But if you find yourself in a relationship or with someone stable, learn the person. Take time to learn the person before you go deep into intimate conversations, intimate actions, intimate anything. Take your sweet time to know someone, because and of course, yes, there's some lies that will escape you, but like, take time so that or if you find something out, or if you find out, they're not who they've presented themselves to be, you at least have, I guess, you haven't completely dived into a situation where you feel like this is my everything, And
I want to just add on to what you just said. Take time, because no one can pretend for that long. Most people,
actually,
usually with pretense, eventually you start to see some things, and then take note of the red flags. Take note, in as much as you are in love. Take note of the red flags and begin to see them completely. Begin to see through the lies and begin to act or figure out your next path.
Yeah.
The second thing that you said that was quite brilliant right there was, make sure before you get into intimate anything, and most people who want to get into intimate something without having met you or committing, they want to do it via text. You're always on DM.
Yeah.
That's how you meet. Ati, we have a date where? On DM. Ati, he drinks coffee on that side, I drink coffee on this side.
No.
We just chat with each other.
That can be a real
Please, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
People,
can be a real-
no, I'm just saying they date a lot on text. You find you've been on a date with someone 4 months.
Yeah.
You've never seen them. Worse, you've never seen their house. Please see the houses. See the house.
That's
You'll
the
be able to
beginning
tell.
of primary research.
And let me
I did this. Was this high school or primary research, secondary research? Yeah.
Very important.
Yeah.
Make sure you've met the person and you've met people around him. It might not be all his family, but then meet people around so that you can tell the substance of a person.
Yeah,
Someone
you
who's
get
serious,
insights.
they're serious. Yes.
Yeah.
In terms of that. And then so that you avoid being duped. And just in case you think you might be lied to or you're being lied to at the moment, the idea is not to go too crazy. Like, you can go crazy, it's allowed, but then you gotta get yourself out of that situation. Yeah, if you realize something's happening, you can approach it. Right now, I'm grown enough to say, you guy, this is not working because you're like this, like this, like this. And you said it was this way, this way, this way. Now I can say that. When I was younger, I used to I'd be like, it's okay, it's never that serious, just move on.
But also, if you need time to be bamboozled, just
Be inside the line.
take
in
time
there.
to be bamboozled.
Eh.
Take it a day at a time. Get professional support. Get family support if you can. Get friend support if you can.
Check your community.
But, yeah.
Your community will really help. Find yourself. Let me tell you, I hear people tell me, oh, I don't get along with girls. I have no girlfriends. And they have no sisters. So I ask them, so who do you talk to? Because in as much as they're like, oh, I only have guy friends. I'm like, it's cool. But then you need someone who gets some things that are completely different about you. You need someone who will understand things that someone else might not understand.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, get yourself some girlfriends. It helps. It helps having a girlfriend who you can say, you guy, I just want to cry.
Yeah.
And that's reason enough.
And you have a safe space to be authentic in your emotion.
True.
Just
and no one is judging you. No one is caring. No one is worrying.
Yeah.
Possibly just get yourself some girlfriends. Get yourself, as Dee would say, a community. Women who are older, women who are younger, women on the same age. That's the best wisdom you get today, love. I think so. And that has been...
And it was free.
We pay money right here. That has been the Ages and Stages podcast, KE. We are on every platform. If you're looking for us on YouTube, we're there. If you're looking for us on any podcast platform, we are right there. If you're looking for us on Instagram, I am Beldina Kasema, the only one. And this is the lovely
Things Dee says.
And we will see you next week. Bye.